Yes.
Okay, good evening everyone. Myself, Dr. Ripal Gupta, Assistant Professor at the School of Law. It took a great pleasure for me to welcome Mr. Mohit Mangal sir for today's session. Sir has trained in structural engineering along with a master's management under his hat. Sir is a nationally renowned career counselor and educational psychometrist. Sir has quit his job in a top multinational company in 2003 against much reservations and apprehension of his peers. Since he felt driven by the quest to help students find their right career path. Today, more than 19 years later, Mr. Mangal is one of the most popular, successful, and well-known career counselor who has delivered more than 1,700 talks across India and helped more than 6.5 lakh students identify the right path forward in their career life. Mr. Mangal is author of Parents Handbook of Career After School in India, which has recently got published by CBSE Delhi on their official website, and its link has been shared with all CBSE affiliated schools worldwide. Such publication has got appreciated by all people including academicians, parents, teachers, and professionals across the world. Sir has been guest faculty at some of the premier institutes of the nation, including IIT Delhi, IIT Mumbai, IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, NID, NIFT, and Gujarat Institute of Disaster Management, to name a few. We heartily welcome you, sir, and thank you so much for sharing this time for legal aspirant students and to guide them into their future path. And we have, along with Sir, Director in charge of LG School of Law, Ms. CS Chaitali Jani. She has experience of 20 years in teaching field, and she's doing commendable job in law field currently. We welcome you both, sir, and the platform is for Chaitali ma'am. Thank you.
Very good evening to all the law aspirants present here and our distinguished guest, Mr. Mohit Mangal, sir. This is the time, June and July, when we generally, all the results are out, whether it is 12th standard result or CLET result or graduation result. And then the biggest question in our mind is what to do after 12th standard or where to go after graduation. So those law aspirants may be preparing for 2 years down the line after 10th standard for getting admission in good colleges for CLAT and all. So you have decided that you want to go for law field, or there are many participants, many law aspirants present here today with us who are not sure whether to go for law as a career or not. So we are very fortunate here today. We have the expert with us who has, as Ripple ma'am has rightly said, a long experience in career counseling. So, sir, I would like to ask you, what is your opinion, or what would you like to tell our law aspirant students that what are the career opportunities after doing law?
First of all, thank you so much, Chaitali ma'am, for extending this invitation to me. Indeed, it's a pleasure for me to be as a co-panelist to you in this today's meet. And I would also like to thank Ripal ma'am for such an elaborate introduction which he did. And most importantly, I would like to thank Manish sir, Viral sir, the management of LJ University. Well, it has been almost 20 years I've been interacting, talking, mentoring with law aspirants. So first and foremost thing which had been troubling the legal aspirants for last 3 years is continuous shift of the dates of law exams, be it CLAT, be it All India Legal Entrance Test, be it Symbiosis Entrance Test, or be it Christ University Entrance Test, and so on and so forth. So first thing which I see in all these kids is there is a lot of anxiety, there is a lot of fear, there is a lot of I would say non-clarity on what is going to happen, how it is going to happen. Yeah. First thing which I want to tell all these children who are aspiring to appear for CLAT on 19th of June is, please have a very cool mindset, because I have been myself appearing for CAT, which is supposed to be the toughest competitive exam, I have appeared it 9 times, and every time I have got 99 plus percentile in that. One key factor for appearing and successfully mastering a national level competitive exam is keeping your mind frame cool. If I look at the preparation, 20% is what your preparation, what is going to matter, and 80% is going to be the mind frame with which you go, sit there and give the exam. Whether you are appearing in English section, which is your first take, or a reasoning section, or a legal section, or a GK section, or one of the most feared and the minuscule section, which is the mathematics section, which is just 10% of the exam. I think keeping your mental model very cool is important in the exam. And most importantly, before the exam, these coming 10 days are very, very crucial. Touch base with every section every day. 2 days before the exam, do not get into any anxiety. Keep yourself calm, keep yourself cool. I always say, chill out, but do not freak out 2 days before the exam. And on the day of the exam, go confidently, sit. Since primarily it is a negative marking paper, you have to be very careful in marking your choices. And I think, Chaitali ma'am, I'll take 1 more minute for these kids who are appearing in a negative marking paper, because this is one strategy which I share with them on the day of the exam. See, when you're talking about a negative marking paper, in the first shot, you should do all the questions which you definitely know.
Yes.
And you should keep a star mark on those questions in which you are able to eliminate 2 choices, but you are confused amongst the remaining 2 choices. Once your paper is over, 10 minutes before that, I mean, when I talk about strategy, I always tell these children that in a 120-minute paper, you should be able to finish the first round of entire paper in maximum 110 minutes. So last 10 minutes should be there for you to review whatever is left, what you have done, how you have done. In those 10 minutes, whichever are your star marked questions, get into the paper and mark the first choice. So if the confusion is between A and D, mark A. If the confusion is between B and D, mark B. If the confusion is between B and C, mark B. If the confusion is between C and D, mark C. Whatever is the first choice. Now, kids may ask me, sir, why first choice? Why not second choice? Fine. For you, second choice. But beforehand, keep your mind very clear that either you will mark the first confusing choice or the second confusing choice. And across board, across the paper, mark either the first or the second. So even if there are 20 questions like that, probability says 10 out of them are going to be right, 10 may go wrong. 10 right means positive marks 10, and 10 wrong means negative mark 2.5. So the last level of enhancement of your marks of 7.5, value will take place if you do this and apply this strategy at the end of the exam. So I think keeping mind cool is very, very important at this point of time.
That was a very good insight for all the CLAT aspirants, but a very good relief for many, many other students who have just cleared 12th standard, that even if you're Gujarat University, if you want to pursue any course in Gujarat University, the CLAT is not required for that. So if you want to go...
This question I should be asking you, since, for a lot of time, what I understand, LJ Institute of Law was under Gujarat University, and now I believe, it is still, we are still continuing with Gujarat University.
Still with Gujarat University. From next year, we'll be moving to LJ University Law Department. Law Department is still with Gujarat University for current year.
So what are the admission processes for LJ University?
Yeah, so LJ School of Law is affiliated with Gujarat University for this current year, 22-23. And the basic criteria is your 12th merit marks. So it depends upon the basic criteria says 45% minimum marks in 12th standard, but generally the merit goes about 45%. That is the base criteria. And for the students belonging to SCBC category, it is 42%, and SC/ST category, it is 40%. But the merit goes not so low. Merit is generally high. This is the base criteria I'm telling you. So it is completely based on 12th marks, and nowhere, even if you are not appearing for CLAT or if you have not scored well in CLAT, you have the option that your doors are not closed, that you cannot go for 5-year integrated course. Even if you have not cleared your CLAT exam, you have the option to go for Gujarat University courses, and especially the LJ School of Law, because we are offering the BBA LLB course 5-year integrated.
And this puts me to two more questions, which I want to understand, because a lot of kids, they come, they ask me this. One question which I want to know is that board, kids are coming from Gujarat board also, kids are coming from CBSE, ICSE, Cambridge International. Is there any separated reservation or any separated, fixation of number of seats for those children? That is my first question. And second question which children ask me is, sir, either BA LLB is a better choice to take up or a BBA LLB is a better choice to take up. So I think since you had been into active teaching inside a law school and being director of a law school, you would be the right person to, put some light on these two things. So can you please help us with this?
Yes, sir. So regarding your first question, in Gujarat University, we do not have any separate quota for CBSE or ICSE or Gujarat board. All are equal. So anybody who is from any board will be treated equally at par, and they will be it will be purely on their merit marks.
So there is a common merit list which is made for all boards?
Yes, it is a common merit list. Only reserved category students, that is belonging to SC/ST or SCBC category, they have a separate merit list. Otherwise, for boards, we do not have a separate merit list. And apart from that, there are some seats reserved for other boards, not the seats reserved, but they have to get one eligibility certificate also to get the admission in.
Those are the children who are coming from outstate. So they have to take eligibility certificate from the Gujarat University before applying to the LJ University.
Yes. And even the ICSE students, IB students, they also have to get the eligibility certificate. Only the CBSE students who have passed their 12th board exams from Gujarat state, but they are in CBSE, they are not required to get the PEC. Otherwise, all other board students are supposed to get it's a small process, just online process. By paying 100 rupees, you can get the eligibility certificate. But that's a requirement. Coming back to your second question,
I'm just stopping you in between. Before I come to BA, BBA, LLB, one more clarification in this. I would want, because a lot of kids would wish to know that.
Yes.
Now, as do the kids apply for a centralized admission process at Gujarat University for admission in LJ School of Law, or they directly apply to LJ School of Law for admission in LJ College?
Yes. So basically, we have 120 seats for the students. From that, 90 seats, that is 75% of the seats, are in centralized admission. So for those seats, they have to apply online on Gujarat University website, and centralized merit list will be prepared, and they will be allotted the colleges. We have 30 seats, that is of management quota, and for those 30 seats, they can directly approach the college, and it's our discretion to give admission on those seats. And the name is just management quota, but there is no extra charge. Generally, the concept in the mind is management quota is higher payment seats or something, but it is nothing like that. It is just management's discretion to give admission. So the fees remain same whether you are taking through centralized admission process or through management quota.
Okay. And now, ma'am, I come to that question which kids are always confused. Yes. Why BBA LLB and why BA LLB?
Yes, it's a very good question, and all the children always have this confusion. So we generally believe that BA LLB in Gujarat University structure, you have 10 semesters. Each semester you will be studying 6 papers. So total in 10 semesters, the students will be studying 60 papers, 60 subjects. Out of 60 subjects, 48 subjects are related to law, which are going to remain common. So whether you are doing BA LLB, BBA LLB or BCom LLB, those 48 papers of law subjects are going to remain same. The only change will come in 12 papers. If you are doing BA LLB, it will be like sociology, psychology, history, all those papers will come. If you are doing BBA, the major focus will be on management side, like human resource management, marketing management, accounts, costing, operation research, economics. Those subjects will be there. And if you are doing BCom LLB, then major focus will be on accounts. Now, if we compare these two, what we believe is, if you are comparing BA and commerce line, BCom or BBA, then if you become a lawyer after 5 years, you don't know what is your interest after 5 years or where the opportunity lies after 5 years. So you should keep all your options open. But if you're going for BA LLB, the corporate side is completely closed, because the BA student cannot even read the balance sheet. They don't know if there is some case like Vijay Mallya or Nirav Modi, fugitive offenders case. They will not be able to understand the nitty-gritty of the financial crimes or white-collar crimes which are mushrooming these days. So even taxation practice, even the insurance law practice, there are many commercial side practice which the doors will be closed if you're going for BA LLB. So the major option available after BA LLB is criminal side. So if you just want to practice in criminal, then BA LLB is good, but you should keep all your options open. Then the option is BCom or BBA LLB. But BBA LLB is considered as a professional degree. BBA is always considered as a professional degree. Even if you compare the merit of just BCom and BBA, not LLB, just BCom and BBA, always BBA merit will be higher than the BCom merit. So BBA has its own value. We don't want to become a CA or accountant, so you don't need to focus so much on accounts. The lawyer should have a working knowledge of accounts and management and economics. That is what being taught in BBA LLB. So according to us, that is the best course for any student.
I'm sure. I think that is a great insight, ma'am, differentiating between BA, BBA, BCom, because I also keep facing such questions, and I think I have got more clarity from you as to what is the difference between these three branches.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, another thing which come from children, I think that is, what are the options available after doing a 5-year law program? And for that you have already talked about litigation, where you talk about criminal or getting into corporate law. So I just like to share some more views on what are the other areas which are available to these children. So I have been into this area for, as I said, almost 20 years, and I have a lot of children. So one very common share which I do with all these students is I have students who have graduated from law and are working as investment bankers with DSP. They are working as journalists with Frontline. They are working as actors with movies. They are working as consultants with World Bank. They are working as activists with NGOs and are standalone activists. Obviously, they are working at starting from family court to law court to session court to high court to Supreme Court. Now we have students who are advocates on record with Supreme Court. I have my students who have joined as judicial magistrate first class across at least 10 states in the country. So I think beyond litigation, I classify the opportunities in few more areas. First thing is you can get into research and academics, what Chaitali ma'am is doing, what I am doing, although I am not from a legal background, but I am into academics. So if you are very strong in your subject, you like to pass on your knowledge to others, you feel confident about researching, getting to know what are the updates in the legal field. So research and academics is an area after doing a 5-year law which you can get into. Unlike many other areas, like if you are a plain BCom or you're a plain BBA or you're a plain BSc, then you straight away cannot go and teach in a university or in a college. But here you can straight away start your teaching inside a university, inside a college, and then slowly you can upgrade yourself. That comes higher education, where you can go and do your LLM followed by a PhD. So this is higher education for your own self beyond teaching and academics. Also, lot of corporates, which are private bodies, they hire standalone lawyers to consult them for legal matters, be that matters related to real estate, land laws and revenue records. That could be daily level of litigation which come to those corporates, or litigation between their suppliers, vendors, stakeholders, internal employees, external stakeholders, and so on. So they could be corporate lawyers. Also, there are certain organizations which need to have a legal department because they do some work related to law. For example, banks. Whenever there is a default, ma'am talked about Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi. So the people who had been running after these two fugitives are the people who are lawyers employed with the bank, running after to make sure that whatever loans they have extended are recovered on time. And if they're not recovered on time, there is a proper methodology through which they can recover their extended money. So there you can work as part of the legal team for a bank, for an insurance company, and so on. Also, there are a lot of international organizations which pick up lawyers who know the law of different lands. For example, people who have studied law in India know the law of land of this country. So if there is a multinational government or private organization based out of another country, they may want to have a lawyer from India who can consult them for laws of the land that is of this particular country. So you can get and work into an international organization. There is a newer thing which has started coming up, that is a LPO, that is legal process outsourcing. So a lot of children who are wanting to do more of back end work, less of front end work, they can go and do be part of legal process outsourcing companies where some litigation may be going ahead in some other country, but the back end work for that litigation to brief the front end lawyers or the litigators on ground has to be done by some other legally equipped workforce, which could be in India. So just like you have KPOs, you have BPOs, you have LPOs. And last thing which comes to my mind, what one can get into is judicial services. So you can straight away finish your law 5-year program, prepare for judicial exams, give judicial exams, clear, and straight away become a judicial magistrate first class. And this exam is at a state level, so it does not matter where you have graduated from, you can give exams for judicial magistrate across states. So these are all the areas which are available to students after doing 5-year law.
Apart from that, sir, you must be knowing, you can just throw some light on UPSC, because the law students, many of the law students go for Department of Legal Affairs of Government of India, and UPSC becomes very easy for law students.
You're very right.
Yeah.
Ma'am, almost I see, 40% of the students I see who prepare for national level competitive exams or plan to go for 5-year integrated law have a final goal and aspiration to get into UPSC. Now, how law equip these children to be better material for UPSC? That is what I will, throw some light on. See, primarily, if as a layman, because I don't come from legal background, I come from counseling background. But if as a layman, I see for UPSC, you need to have a complete knowledge and understanding of your constitution, fundamentally. And primarily what you study in 5 years of law is complete knowledge of your constitution. So if you are graduating out of a 5-year law program, your reading skills have gone pretty up. Your understanding of law, legality, politics, social issues has gone far beyond a non-law graduate. Your negotiation skills, your research skills, your paper publication skills, these all skills go up in a 5-year law program. And once you go through this, you can prepare for your subject area as law and the general areas, which again, all are part of your legal studies, be it history, be it geography, be it sociology, be it economics, be it political science. Everything is by and large part of what you are studying across board different subjects in any law school. So I think this makes your preparation almost, makes you 60% ready for getting into a UPSC. Remaining 40%, if you put in a little effort, extra effort in your pre-final and the final year, I'm sure post that UPSC could be a very good shot for any student who has done 5-year law.
Very true, sir. Thank you so much for guiding the students in this. So as far as LJ School of Law is concerned, I would like to say that we prepare our students from day one for these competitions. Apart from that, like in Gujarat University, we get all type of students, like from students coming from science, commerce, arts, from all the varieties, from CBSE to Gujarat board to ICSE, from Gujarati medium, from English medium. So we try to connect all of them and to give them practical knowledge. We, as a part of curriculum, from first year itself, we have different activities like moot courts, mock trials, client counseling. Moot court is like we give them a case and then they have to argue in front of high court lawyers. We invite judges of high court as the judge for the event. So from first year, they are arguing in front of the high court judges. So when they will go out after 5 years, they will not have any such kind of fear. Then when a client comes, how to deal with the client, that comes in client counseling. Then there is a good opportunity for students after doing law in legislature, in parliament also. So for them, it is very important to understand the how a bill becomes an act and how the deliberation takes place in the parliament. So as a part of curriculum, we take the parliamentary debate regularly. Every Thursday, we have a class for parliamentary debate where one student is prime minister, other is the opposition leader, and then they are arguing. So that develops their skills. We encourage our students to write a lot of research articles, and these days blogs are very popular. So many of our students write many legal blogs, and that can also, they're earning out of it. So by writing many legal blogs, that can also be a career opportunity, who have good flair over language and those who have good command over language with legal knowledge. So they are really earning well, even while studying 5-year law, they are doing this. So blogging is also one of the area. And apart from that, like many of the students who are interested in Model United Nations, MUN, which we do regularly, and law students go to United Nations. Like our students are selected in United Nations. They had appeared for interview and they had been selected for the internship in UN itself. And that was a wonderful exposure to them regarding the international legal system, how it works. And even the students in the curriculum itself, like when they are studying itself, they go for PILs, public interest litigation. So they can, even these days, the cyber crimes are increasing a lot. So many, we take our students to visit the cyber cell department. We take them to visit the central jail. We take them to, when they are studying juvenile justice, we take them to the children's court. When they are studying labor law, we take them to the labor court. And we make sure that they do the internships from first year they are doing in NGO, second year they are doing in sessions court, criminal court, third year they are doing in civil court, fourth year they'll be doing internship in High Court, and fifth year in Supreme Court. So from lower level to the highest level, they should be aware regarding the entire judiciary in India. So the way sir has just rightly said, the career opportunities are ample after doing law course, but the correct thing is to take the decision from where you are doing your law course, because there are so many universities, so many schools which are providing degrees. But at LJ School of Law, we do not want our students to be degree holder only, but we want them to acquire knowledge in the real sense. So, sir, any other input or insight from your side regarding the same?
Ma'am, one thing, which again, just while you were sharing the details of what all, LJ school does for the students and what all the children are exposed to at our prestigious school, One question again I would address from my end, although parallel to this, while I'm addressing this question, I will request all the participants that in case there is any question which is there in their mind, they can please put it in the chat box. If it connects with me, I'll be happy to answer. If it connects with Chaitali ma'am, I would request Chaitali ma'am to answer that. But one question which I think needs address here is the difference between 3-year LLB and a 5-year integrated program. This is a very common thing which comes from teachers. So a lot of things Chaitali ma'am has already shared with all of you, but I will put it a little bit in more structure. So first thing is that when you're studying a 3-year law program, you're studying approximately 18 to 30 subjects, depending upon the type of college where you're studying. But the moment you look at a 5-year integrated law program, you are in total studying 60 subjects, out of which 52 subjects are law subjects. 8 subjects are your specialization subjects. And even if you look at 52 law subjects, out of them, 32 subjects are common subjects which are prescribed by the Bar Council of India. 20 subjects are elective subjects, wherein you can pick up your specialization related to various different laws, be it corporate law, commercial law, administrative law, cyber law, intellectual property law, arbitration, conciliation, and so on and so forth. So this is the first difference. So the knowledge pool which you get in a 5-year law program is far better than what you expect or you get in a 3-year program. Second, as Chaitali ma'am shared with all of you, you get exposure to moot courts, international national paper presentations, Model United Nations. So your exposure towards debating, arguing in front of the court of law, those skills get very strongly developed in a 5-year law program, which at times is lacking in a 3-year program. Because in 3-year program, moot courts were never heard of. Recently, they have started doing moot courts. Exposure to paper presentations, exposure to debates, declamations was never there. So that is second point where the 5-year program stands apart. Third thing is that in a 5-year program, by doing internships, because after every semester, you have a break of ranging between 3 to 5 weeks. And if you are not a lethargic candidate who just wants to sit at home and do nothing, you, believe me, can learn a ton in those 10 internships. So you start your internship from an NGO, go ahead with a lower court, be a clerk to a judge, work with designated senior lawyer, work with a solicitor, you can work with a LPO, you can work with a law firm, and there are a lot of national international law firms which are taking students from prestigious colleges. So your exposure will you want program. So I believe these are sufficient things which should have in comparison to 3-year law program, unless and until you have lost time because of non-awareness. You started your BA or a BBA, you already finished 2 years, and now you felt that somewhere law or legal knowledge was something which was more close to your heart. Then you should go for a 3-year law program. Advantages over and above a 3-year law program.
Yes, sir, very rightly said. Though I would like to say we run both the courses, 3-year law as well as 5-year law program, and we do not discriminate among the students. We try to give the equal opportunities, even moot courts and visits and everything to 3-year course. We have what we give to 5-year students, but still we try our level best to give those students. 3-year colleges, though there sometimes they do not run the regular classes for the syllabus, they do not complete the syllabus, but we complete entire syllabus and not charge fees. They have taken admission in some other college, but just for the sake of knowledge, we allow them to sit in our class and to attend the classes.
For you, which has come to me. Somebody has asked, do I compulsory fill Gujarat University form?
Regular seats, 90 seats are regular seats, which is through Gujarat University. So you have to fill up the form on Gujarat University website, which is through centralized admission process. They will allot you the college. You have to give whatever is your first preference. If your merit marks are matching with our criteria, you will be getting the admission through centralized process. The other way is, as I said, there are 30 seats which are management quota seats. For that, you can directly approach the college and you can directly take the admission from the college. But again, you'll have to fill up the form later on that we'll ask you to fill up online, but you can directly take admission through college for that.
Ma'am, there's another very beautiful and a tricky question for you. Now that question says, if the students are given opportunity to go to civil court or high court or Supreme Court, so the selection of all the students will not be possible? So the opportunity given for internship to those students, is it based on performance base?
Okay, a very good question. I would like to say we do not discriminate among students. Even if you have failed in one of the year or so, we give internship opportunity to all the students we have. We have contacts with so many lawyers, so there is no dearth of lawyers, and we get enough number. We have so many lawyers in Ahmedabad itself, in every court. So we have good contacts with all of them, and each lawyer takes at least 3 to 4 students. We have 120 students. We can definitely manage for all the students to get the internship opportunity. अभी तक ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ कि कोई student को हमने internship में help ना की हो. So we give equal opportunity to all.
Adding on to what Chaitali ma'am said, just to lower down a little bit of anxiety of this child. See, when you are having 10 internships, and I gave you at least 10 different places where you can go for internship, and you must understand, you have courts in the smallest places in the country. You have district level courts, you have state level courts, you have central level Supreme Court, plus you have a lot of other judiciary or legal area related organizations, be those can be NGOs, those could be corporates, those could be law firms, those could be LPOs. So everywhere opportunities are available for taking or doing internships. So internship is not a problem. And
even at the time of Corona, we could provide internship to students when the lawyers were not ready to take the interns. And to add on to this, there are quasi-judicial areas also, like Mamlatdar's Kacheri. There are collector's office where the legal department is there. So those things are also where you have to get the land records. So you need to have some sort of local knowledge also when you are working on those areas. So we prepare you for that as well. Very true,
Chaitali ma'am. So I don't have any more questions, Chaitali ma'am, on board which have come from the students. So if there is anything else, which you feel I could address, or something which children might want to know from me, I'll be very happy to answer before we close.
There is one more opportunity for law students, that is Judge Advocate General. If you can throw light on that, for military and martial law, they appoint that Judge Advocate General, JAG. So that is one more opportunity that they have apart from the regular. And one more, not very big, it's a small thing, notary public, but there are people who are making money out of it, and it's a simple work, but then it is required for all our documents.
All the documents, true. See, there are opportunities available in all our defense forces. Not only defense forces, there are opportunities where these children are exposed to a lot of media these days. So you talk about CBI, they have separate courts, they have separate judges. You talk about NCB, they have separate courts, separate judges. Yes. Same way, there is Indian Army, Indian Air Force, and Indian Navy. They have their own internal judicial system. In case of any internal inquiry or internal conflict, those cases are being handled in those courts. So that is known as the JAG branch, that is Judge Advocate General branch of the forces. And the entry into this is for all the people who have finished their law on direct recruitment basis. But yes, you have to go through a proper SSB, followed by the assessment, and then a due training is provided to you before you are put up on that chair. So that opportunity is also there. And as ma'am very rightly said, alternate opportunities in a lot of differential courts are available. They could be tribunal courts, they could be tax courts, the CBI courts. So young graduates passing out from law schools can explore their worth, can explore their hunger, and I'm sure can do very well for themselves in their life.
So I have one more question, direct question to me only. That is, there are various law schools in our city. What makes LJ different from all those universities? So as I mentioned in many points that we are doing a lot of work as part, you will not find any other college having in regular timetable. We every day have 4 theory sessions and 1 practical session. So the first question comes in mind, what is practical in law? But we have every day, like Monday is always for moot court, Tuesday is always for mock trial. There is a difference between moot court and mock trial. Moot court is basically for practicing in High Court and Supreme Court, where the procedures are little different than the lower courts. Like we हम movie में जो देखते हैं, गीता पे हाथ रख के कहूंगा, जो कहूंगा, सच कहूंगा, that does not happen in High Court. So that is a lower court practice, and that is known as mock trial. We teach our students both lower court practice as well as the High Court practice, Supreme Court practice. Then we have client counseling and all these things. We have our unique initiative called Lawyers on Wheels, where we take students in batch of 20 to nearby villages, where the students are accompanied by faculty and lawyers, and we inform the villagers that if you have any legal problem, you can share with us. And generally villagers share their land issues, their family issues, whatever legal problems, government schemes, they're not getting the benefit or anything. And then our students, with the help of the lawyers, provide them solution at their doorstep. So we call it Nyay Tumhara Ghar Aangane, so justice at your doorstep. In that, the students learn the practical aspects. You learn a lot of theory, but what is practically there, and you learn the real life questions and how to solve that. So all those opportunities we provide to our students, and we take students for visits to different places, whatever subject they are studying. As I mentioned, if you're studying constitution, we'll take you to Lok Sabha. If you are studying juvenile justice, we'll take you to the children's court. So there are different ways, pedagogy which we are using for overall development of our students. And for better understanding, you should visit the college once.
I'm sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
There are a couple of direct questions, ma'am, which have come to me. I think I'll address those. My first question, which a kid has asked is legal field tough for first generation lawyer? I think this is an excellent question. A lot of children have this confusion. I can definitely assure you, being 20 years in the area of teaching and guiding students in the field of law, I have kids who who come from the parental background of doctors who are first generation lawyers. I know kids whose parents are bankers. The kid is a first generation lawyer. I know parents who are CAs. The kid is a first generation lawyer. And all the three lawyers which immediately came to my mind, all three are working as independent lawyers with the High Court. So to put across this thing to you, first generation lawyer is not tough, provided you have the right equipment to work in the area of litigation. And beyond litigation, there are a lot of other areas which I shared with you related to corporates, related to NGOs, activism, government organizations, where it does not matter whether you're a first generation or second generation or third generation, but you get handsomely paid. One of my co-directors' daughter has passed law from Gujarat National Law University and is working with Trilegal in Bombay. She's a first generation lawyer. So I think it is not tough, but you need to have the right acumen to get into litigation if you want to practice law in the court of law. Otherwise, a lot of other opportunities are also there. Second question which has come to me is, we should practice on criminal side or a civil side, like a professional or a corporate law, like how to decide without any confusion. Well, to answer this question, I think you are too raw and too early to think about it. You have neither studied the area of criminal, civil, IPR, arbitration, family. You have not studied any of these laws. So first thing is, once your exposure in these laws happen, you will be able to figure out what type of legality or what type of law tastes the best to you. Second thing which will happen is, when you go for your internships, you will have real life practical experience. Third, when you go through moot courts or mock trials, which LJ School of Law is, ma'am shared that they are very prominently doing it. That is the place from where you will slowly be in a position to develop the type of taste of cases or the area of litigation which you want to work in. I think by the time you pass out 5 years of your law, you should be working in criminal or civil or corporate or IPR and so on and so forth. So, ma'am, these were the two questions I've answered. Is there any direct question to you?
Yes.
We will take that question and then maybe we close the session.
Yes.
I don't have any other direct question to me.
Okay. So one last word for CLAT aspirants or aspirants, who wish to go for a 5-year law. It does not matter once you get admission. It does not matter which institution you are in. Once you get admission, then what matter is how much you work in those 5 years which you dedicate to your legal studies. So I am sure under Gujarat University, LJ School of Law is one of the most prestigious institutions, and anybody studying with this institution will come out with very, very flying colors. But you must make sure that those 5 years which you spend in a good university, in that environment of legal study, internships, honestly, attend your class.